What's cooking, everybody? Welcome back to the O Show, episode 482. Remember, we're sponsored by Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Scottsdale, Arizona. Mayweather Boxing and Fitness is an inclusive, high-intensity fitness experience developed by the champ Floyd Money Mayweather himself, formulated with the perfect combination of boxing, strength, and cardio conditioning intervals designed to make you look good, feel good, and leave you with more than just a great sweat. Head on down to Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Scottsdale, Arizona. We're also sponsored by betonline.ag. Sign up for that 50% bonus by using the promo code right there, capital BLEAV50. Again, that's capital BLEAV50 for a 50% bonus only at betonline.ag. We got the Packers and the 49ers today. Gentlemen, who you got? At Lambeau, right?
I'm going with Aaron Rodgers.
That's a safe bet, man.
Yeah.
We got Sam. We got Jack.
Yeah.
Who's going to be very
We're
light.
going with Green Bay 100% today.
Green Bay.
49ers slipped by Cowboys barely.
See, I'm a Cowboys fan, and I looked at it like Jimmy G performed well, but it's like you beat the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Right? We could have gone 16-0. It's like you still beat the Cowboys in the postseason. That's not that impressive.
Exactly. They were slipping up all game, and San Francisco just barely got by.
Barely.
Who else is playing today?
The Bengals are playing today.
I honestly like the Bengals.
I do too.
I didn't have them over the Raiders last week
Yeah.
for whatever reason. I'm just like not into it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, the Bengals first playoff game since '91.
Right.
Right? Like Kurt Cobain was alive the last time they made the playoffs. I think it was like the Houston Oilers.
It's kind of weird
Yeah.
saying the Bengals, in the playoffs right now. It's like
Who'd you grow up? Were you a Panthers fan?
Panthers fan, man.
So what, Bahama, North Carolina?
Well, Bahama.
Bahama? See, I don't know.
It's Durham County.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's like where the Blue Devils, Duke, and
So you were a good while away from Charlotte then.
Yeah, I was about 2 hours. About
Okay.
2 hours. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. You're in town for what? Literally like 48 hours, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were doing the Barrett Jackson event? Mm-hmm. Were you performing? Were you
So it's this band, Prince Board. He used to music direct Black Eyed Peas. He has this band called Funky Mama All Stars, and so I'm the singer of the Funky Mama All Stars, and it consists
You guys are
of.
Right there. You were talking about the leather jacket before we came on. There
Oh
it is.
yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I don't think I
man.
could pull off the red.
Yeah, man. Shout out to D Squared.
Maybe with a black undershirt. Who knows?
You could do it. Look at you right now.
This is from one company. I forget the name of it, but they had like black, gray, tan.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh yeah.
I don't know if this is cheap leather or not. No, nobody has to know. But
Yeah, no one has to know, but it looks good. It looks good.
so when did you? Because we were talking about a little bit before all the different things that you do. You could say you're an entrepreneur, you're a producer, you write your own stuff. You work with other artists too. What did it just start out with music and it kind of evolved into the business side? You kind of fell in love with that stuff.
Well, I mean, I grew up doing music. Of course, in Carolina, you grow up, in the church. You know what I'm saying? And I started playing drums like around at 3 years old. And then I moved over to keys when I was like 7, and then it started being like musical chairs as far as all the instruments. And then I didn't realize that I could become a producer until I was like, wait, I know about bass lines, I know about keys, I know about drums, and it's all about putting it together. So I've been doing music essentially all my life.
I heard that your Grandma Ruth kind of put you to work early.
Yeah.
You were performing in front of her friends every Sunday when you were 3 years old?
Every Sunday, man. Every Sunday. It was crazy.
But did you like it going in, or did she like, you're going to play an instrument?
I looked for it. I was
You're gonna
ready.
do something.
Lights, camera, action, let's go.
Really?
And it was that. I think it was that training that, that prepared me for, today. Because you got to turn it on. Like soon as last night, they introduced this, and it was time to go. Saying no warm up, no nothing. Just, these are rich, rich old money.
Right,
and so
right.
you have to entertain them and make them dance. And usually that's like the toughest crowd. But we made it work. We made it happen. But it all started when I was little. I've literally been doing this all my life.
That's so fun. I mean, you started with the drums.
Yeah.
How long did the singing voice come to first? My brother's a musician. He lived in Nashville for a little bit.
Nice.
I had to listen to that growing up. Him messing up the chord at the exact same spot every time for like a Dave Matthews song.
Right.
And then the singing voice came along probably like 15 years in the experience. Was it quick for you? Did you take lessons?
Kindergarten, that was my first solo. I did
Kindergarten?
This,
Dude.
Kindergarten. Yeah, I did the Circle of Life for my elementary school course. And I was the only kindergartner that had a solo. And that started a whole new can of worms, man. After it was discovered that I could sing, I knew I could sing. You know what I'm saying? I would always sing for my grandmother. But that was the first time that everybody, you know, as far as like in the public, that wasn't like in my church, found that I could sing. And after that, I had a solo, and then in second grade, I was playing drums for the chorus, and I would get off the drums and then go sing a solo. And so Miss Brewer, she's probably one of my biggest musical influences, because in elementary school, she put my gift to work. She would have me playing drums for the chorus. She'd have me singing for the chorus. She'd have me playing keys for the chorus. And all those things never been done, you know, under her leadership. So I was like, shout out to her. She even after school, she would spend time with me and my sister. And we'll go over like Mary Poppins and you know, all that, you know, the childhood songs. And this was every day. That was like my after school care. And then I would go to after school care, and then we, you know, all that stuff after like a music lesson. So, you know, it was elementary school.
You obviously loved it from the start, though, because like before most kids are figuring out what the hell they even want to do with their lives, you already know the production side.
Right,
You're starting
right.
to learn a little bit about the business side.
Right.
But as a young kid, I'm kind of curious. You know, parents, I've seen parents, you know, in your case, your grandmother, you know, not that she did, but,
Right.
you know, push you to the point where it's like almost burnout in a sense.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a sense of burnout and want to take a break from it?
No, I mean, it was all around me. You know, like we didn't really have anything to do in Carolina. You know, we either played ball, played sports, did music, went to church, came back home, did homework, you know, in school. And you know, homework was probably the last thing I did. But and so, you know, we just literally, you know, I would wake up, you know, I would play drums, wake up, run around, play. I had a really good childhood when it comes to just having the right things, the right tools in front of me. You know, it was fun. You know, I was playing it. I didn't think about the music business until after college. You know, oh man, it's a music business. I was fortunate to have it at my disposal growing up, and happened to be able to play it and pick it up, and it turned into this. You know, shit, I can make money from this. Wow.
Right. Which is honestly a great way of looking at it. Like you were able to play for the love of playing growing
Right.
up and didn't really focus on the business side. Because
Right.
as Jack probably knows, I could be way off, but this is just what I hear. Like it could be a cutthroat business, the
Yeah.
business side of
Yeah,
music.
100%. I mean, it's never guaranteed. And the reality is like 97, 98% of artists are never going to be able to make a living or like a long-standing living, be able to earn retirement. But, you know, this guy's well on his way.
So you guys hooked up at the Grammys 2020. Was this pre-pandemic?
Yes.
Grammys
like
is like
2 months
February,
before.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just on the border. So we met probably a month and a half before everything kind of got weird. Yeah.
And you being in LA, again, like you moved in 2019,
Yeah.
probably just over a year, less than a year.
Yeah.
You had to go through all of that. Was it just bizarro world out there?
I mean, I'm a studio junkie, so you know, it didn't really change the way I lived.
Your schedule, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't change anything for me, slightly as far as shows, right? A lot of my favorite venues, they closed down. Sayers Club. You ever heard of Sayers Club?
I have not.
Yeah, Sayers Club is like
I need to get more familiar with that area.
Well, I mean, it's gone now. You know, RIP to Sayers Club. It was probably the venue that launched me in LA. You know, that's where I met a lot of people between Unplugged LA, which is like an event in LA that it's more of like a soul R&B event. Then you have Sayers, that was like rock, real big lights, big sound, 7-piece band.
Yeah.
And then you have Delilah, which is like an intimate vibe. It's Drake's Club. That's where Jamie discovered me. And you know, it was like those three. And so, but Sayers was like the middle ground, and it's gone now. But so that was the toughest thing, is not getting that adrenaline rush to, you know, performing. But you know, I dove into the studio, and then Jamie Foxx did too. And so, you know, we did probably like 75 to 80 songs now. Because of that, we were literally locked in, and we developed chemistry. He couldn't go anywhere, I couldn't go anywhere, and we locked down and went to work, man.
Jeez.
So I mean, the
So he was
pandemic
just out and about at a place and he discovered you, or?
Oh yeah, he was. So he was at Delilah. He likes to go to Delilah every now and then, and I was singing like Purple Rain, and I was at the end of it. He took
Can't
his
beat
camera
Purple
out.
Rain.
Yeah, he took his camera phone out, and MGK he started bowing when I started doing the Prince scream and all that shit. So it was excellent, man. It was a Hollywood night. You know what I'm saying? That's what people. Oh, you got to go to Hollywood. You know, you got to go to L.A. You know, and I was already pretty much experienced in the industry before then, but then that was like the straw that brought the camel's back. You know, when it. And then the hype, you know. In LA, all you need is like one cosign from an A-lister. And I got multiple in one night.
Now, did you go to LA with the intent of knowing, like, I got to connect with people, I got to go out and about, I got to perform live in front of people? They say that's one of the more important things as a musician is to perform live in front of people as much as you can.
I think that's why it happened so fast. Because, I mean, if you think about it, it's not a lot of male performers.
Yeah.
Or entertainers. You know, I grew up entertaining. You know, especially at mega churches, bro. Man, if you're not making the people move, they're gonna let you know. They're gonna let you know. And so I had to understand the art of communicating through through music and through vocals and through live performing at an early age. And so it took some. LA is a different energy, so it took some fine tuning. But once I figured out the energy out here, oh man, I took it and ran with it. You know, because
it's a totally different vibe.
You can't sing inward. You can't sing inward at all. You got to sing outward, and you got to make sure that you're delivering. You know, if you're not getting no response, you're not doing something right. You know, because LA will let you know immediately.
And again, you learned that at a very young age, performing in front of your grandma's friends when you were 3 years old.
Yeah, man.
So I feel like you really didn't have much stage fright heading into it.
I mean,
maybe you were anxious.
Man, LA's crazy. Honestly, I had those jitters like I would have like before a basketball game every time I performed for a little while because at first you're making I had to make probably 100 first impressions.
Right.
You know, and so if you performing under fire each time, number one, either you're gonna break or you're gonna grow. And man, I saw my growth because it was pushing me in a different point. You know what I'm saying? I had to have a good performance, no matter if I was tired or if I sung 5 times already that week. It was the first time that crowd was seeing me. So I had to kind of have amnesia, right? I don't care if I scored 30 points the game before, right? I got to have amnesia about the next game so I can play that next game. I can't, and so that's how, that was the mentality that I took to each performance. Shout out to Kobe.
Yeah.
Mamba mentality.
Did you go to any of those ceremonies out there, being out there?
I actually sung the night of his death. And so I did Purple Rain. I did a few other songs. And it was so sad in the room. And, we dedicated the night to Kobe. It was weird singing the night that he passed at Delilah, actually. And, the Lakers were there. You could see the tears. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those moments, man, where it was surreal. I couldn't believe it was happening because, Kobe Bryant, that was the only poster that I had in my room growing up was his. And one of my friends, a good friend of mine, J Young MDK, he called me crying, because that was our hero, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, how did this happen to him? Not Kobe, so, even when I was attacking LA, you know what I'm saying? I had that mentality, like, you can't be scared. You got to go get it. You got to be tough. You have to be excellent. You got to be the best. And so I was trained to be the best. I had full development coming in. And so it was all about not letting anything get in my head and staying consistent. Even though I have the talent to have all these skills, you still have to work hard.
Oh, yeah. You
still have to work hard and put in the work. And that's something I wasn't afraid to do.
Do you remember, on a solemn note, the first time that you felt that you bombed in front of a live audience? Or at least in your own head, felt like you didn't get the reaction that you wanted?
Let's see. That's a good question.
Or does everything you touch just turn to gold?
Man, lately, I'm not gonna even lie. I haven't had the opportunity to afford those moments yet.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
That's a confident answer. I love it.
I really haven't had the opportunity to bomb. You know, one thing you don't do is bomb. But if you add a certain skill level at a certain point, you know, you're not going to. Because even if I forget the words to something, I'm gonna do a run or something or scat, or you learn all these skills to make sure that you don't. And let's see. I'm trying to think when it has to be. I'll say this. National championship game. No, the national tournament when I was at Barton College. I played college basketball. It was my first national televised national anthem I had to sing. And I started it too high. And so I had to sing majority of it in my falsetto. And I was like, man, if I make one move. So that was like one of the ones where I didn't feel like I did my best.
Yeah.
But I didn't mess up.
Right.
You know?
It was something that you'd noticed, but like the average person listening wouldn't have thought twice about.
Yeah, it was like, gave proof through the... I was up there. And I was like...
See, that didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Can we do the full rendition?
Well, you know, I almost definitely started lower because right now I feel like I'm a bass.
Oh my God! You played college basketball.
Yeah.
Did you play in that game?
Yeah.
So like, if you screwed that up, just botched the hell out of it, you would have to go play a game in front of
it was
X amount of people.
College was hilarious. So I sung the national anthem before every basketball game I played in since middle school.
Wow.
So I would have to do warm-ups and all that stuff and then control my breathing to get ready to sing the national anthem and then get ready to play.
Man.
And sometimes, man, no matter if I scored 20 points, grabbed 10 boards, 5 assists or something like a crazy game, everybody's talking about that national anthem. Man, you can play, man, but wow, man, that national anthem is crazy. Like, I'm like, but you're not gonna talk about the game I just had, man. Like, like I was killing. Like, you just talking about the national anthem. So, in a way, in a subliminal way, I kind of always knew that I wasn't LeBron in basketball, but I was most definitely LeBron in music.
Did it ever rival music for you, or was music always number one?
Honestly, music was one of those things where no matter what, that was being done. So it didn't come across as an option until like after college. It's like, well, I had to choose one. Like my senior year in college, I had to choose. And that was the first time I ever had to choose between basketball and music. But it was time. It was time to make that choice, and I think I made the right decision.
Yeah, you're all grown up now.
Yeah, man. Because, I mean, we would play ball after church. You know, we would, just that, that small town country boy. We about to hoop, and then we about to go sing these songs. We about to go to the studio, and I don't know who paid for studio time. I don't know how we was in the studio all the time. I think everybody was just doing it for the love at that point in time, and it was so safe. But, that was just life. So I never really had the chance to choose. I didn't even know that was I would have to. But Anthony Atkinson, he was like the All-American. He went to go play with Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
And so that was my teammate. And he was like, man, honestly, Sam, you can play ball, but music is your gift. And he said I should pretty much stop playing basketball and focus on the gift, because at that time, Division II is political. And, it's very hard to go overseas. Somebody from Carolina that was on the bench would get a look because of, they went to Carolina and played before somebody that started at Barton College, right? Division II. Even though we won the national championship. it was still those politics. So I didn't want to run into those type of politics. I didn't know an agent. I didn't have any contacts for the pros. It would have to be my coach connecting me, and he's kind of old school. So Coach Levency, he wasn't the type of person to have a relationship with scouts. Yeah, because they can get kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? They can get kind of tricky, and with regulations, NCAA regulations, and all that stuff. So he was about the book. So it was up to us to kind of figure that out. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to chase the hoop dream after college. It's time for full-blown music.
I mean, when you get older, it starts becoming more about the business side. Like you're playing in front of scouts.
Yeah.
It's not about the team anymore. Everybody's playing individually.
Yep.
That's what sucked for me. Like I had no talent at all, but like I was playing throughout high school.
Right.
But like all the tournaments we had and everything, the tournaments. I always say tournaments because I'm from the East Coast and people never correct me on it. But out here, I guess it's tournament. Even though it's spelled
I think
tournament.
it sounds a little bit more formal, like kind of British, proper.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
Sounds better the way you say it.
How do you say it?
Tournament.
Tournament, whatever. But I find that very, very. Like, you can't wear hats like that on the basketball court, right?
Exactly.
How important is the fashion game for you?
Super important, man. Super important.
It's like part of your brand, right?
Yeah, like this is shout out to Dolce & Gabbana. This is a Dolce & Gabbana jumpsuit, and some Dior shoes, man. Like
I didn't even realize it was a jumpsuit.
yeah, it's a nice little jumpsuit, and I had like a red D squared jacket on with it, and it's fashion excites me, man, because it's nothing like a good look like on stage. You feel good. Even when I was playing basketball or when I was playing football too, I had to have my visor. You know what I'm saying? I had to have the bands and stuff. I had to have the latest, the nice shoes. Basketball, I always played in Jordans or Kobe's.
Yep.
And you look good, you play good, and now you look good, you sound good.
Oh my God, 100%. Like the more confident you feel, the more confident you're going to be on stage.
Most definitely. So got to be fresh.
How far into LA did you start your own label?
So I always had this vision of Harmonix Factory because, it's me in the studio, and I'm literally, my college degree is audio technology, so engineering.
It fits.
And when I go into the studio, I would produce it. I would write the song, I would record it, I would mix, I would master it, and I would send it out. Then I would do it over and over and over again, either for myself or somebody else. And I was like, wow, it's like a factory. So I took Sam Harmonix, and I just said Harmonix Factory, because in my head, I wanted to make sure people knew, and I kind of, in my head, I already figured out that I was like a factory by myself. I was doing six jobs. I would come in, and you usually need five people to do what I do. But I was doing it myself every single day. And so Harmonix Factory, and then I turned around. Harmonix Factory is also a way where I can discover talent and take what I do and apply it to them, and build something together, because music is boring when you do it by yourself, but Harmonix Factory allowed me to discover Scott Mulligan, Jordan Jeremiah, Kim Cruz. Stout was already discovered. Kim Cruz is pretty much already discovered, but do original music with those type of talents, and man, it's growing, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, how selective are you? Like when you first started and you kind of had a vision and idea for what you wanted it to be, were you very selective with who you worked with?
Most definitely, because you have to have. I mean, a lot of artists. I mean, they're just great in the studio, but when you take them live, and they can probably sing good live, but it's about that connection. Like, can you connect with the audience? Like, can you communicate the song? Can you move them? And I only wanted to work with people that when I saw them live, do they have the potential to move people? Do they have those special magic moments live? Because any artist that can have or push themselves to have those special moments live, that means they have it. And I look at this, anybody that I produce, they should be able to do the Super Bowl one day. That's how skilled they should be, because a lot of people can't do the Super Bowl, and they're big artists now, but they can't carry the load of a Super Bowl. So we have to go back and get the older entertainers. We have to go back and call Katy Perry. We have to use Bruno Mars three times. We got to call Beyonce twice. We have to, people are starting getting called again because the new repertoire of artists aren't performing outward. And I think next is going to be, well, you see what's happening now. I mean, the Super Bowl is calling who?
Right.
Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem. That whole crew. I think Mary J. Blige is also joining.
I think
now.
that was the last one. Yeah.
Yeah. And no new, probably Kendrick Lamar, but he's not new anymore. We know that he's a performer, right? Entertainer as well. And so, like, what's going on with the new school artists? Like, let's get your performing up, get your connection up, get your show up. Make sure you have a show. And shows should be almost like theatrical. It's a mood, it's transitions, it's costumes, it's wardrobe changes. That's what you have to get to understand like a real show. And I feel like Adele understands that. That's why she pushed back her show.
Yeah.
Because she said the show must be right. My show has to be right. And I was like, that's integrity.
How can you tell personally about who, okay, they have an it factor, they know, like, this could be someone someday. They just got to mold themselves. Because I think it's very important to surround yourself with like-minded people who want to kick down the door. Like you said, like, I want to surround myself with people who want to do the Super Bowl. Some people might be like, that's a pretty high expectation, Sam. But, like, that's where your head should be if you want to be the best.
Right. And now I don't feel crazy thinking like that because I've only been in LA for 2 years and look where I'm at.
Yep.
So you can't nobody tell me that no one can tell me what's impossible because I've done the impossible already, and so when I look at somebody, if they make the room stop, I can look at the crowd reaction. It's really the reaction, man. If they causing people to react, then they have that, they operating at a certain frequency, at a certain vibration where they can control the room. In church, you could tell. They used to say they would say, "Oh, that person's anointed," or "That person this and that," just by the move in the room, and that when you tell them to lift their hands, everybody's hands is up. When you tell everybody to close their eyes, everybody close their eyes. When you tell everybody to sing, the whole room is singing. And so I literally carried that into. Then I went from a Toby Mac concert, and then I went to a Taylor Swift concert, and we're doing the same thing. They were doing the same thing. It's the same approach.
Right.
D'Angelo said one important thing to me that made sense to this day. He said his grandmother told him, no matter if you're in church or if you're outside of church, still communicate to the people the same way. Whatever you do in church, do that same thing live with other music and watch what happens. He didn't do R&B and change up anything. That, what's that? How does it feel? Right. That's church. Oh, how does it feel? All that stuff, that's church. That's quartet.
Yep.
Those breaks, boop, boop, you know what I'm saying? Guitars, Rhodes, that was all church. And so D'Angelo and Prince heavily influenced my falsetto because those guys, they were baritones.
Right.
They were baritones, but then could flip up. And man, I figured out how to use mine. I knew I had that type of voice.
I mean, I heard Prince in your voice right then and there. I'm like, holy, like if you close your eyes,
right.
You wouldn't know the difference.
Right, man. Prince, man, it's that's why I like his songs. Between him and it's two songs that I would say changed my life because those were my go-tos when I would come out here, and that's A Man's World by James Brown and Purple Rain by Prince. The way I would do those songs, I made them my own. And I just did a rendition of A Man's World for, am I allowed to say this? Not yet?
I mean, we could say it.
Agent, is it okay?
Yeah, it's all right.
Go to his manager.
Yeah, so he
Nobody
just
listens to this show anyway.
I mean, this guy can cover anything, but he does a fantastic rendition of James Brown, like literally anything. So he just covered A Man's World for a placement opportunity with a very prestigious music company. So we're hoping to land that, and I think we are. But yeah. That's about as far as I'm gonna go with that.
You're gonna hear it soon.
Well, I'll be the first to congratulate you both.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
I also want to be the first to condole you guys if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Just so I don't overstep.
Yeah, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome, man. You obviously have worked hard at doing it. You've been doing it your entire life. So at this point, like, you keep working on your craft.
Right.
You're humble enough to continue working and probably asking people for advice all the time.
Yeah, most
who
definitely.
are the people that I'd say respect the most when it comes to them critiquing your work?
I mean, I don't really care what nobody says.
Well, I'm not saying you should value their opinion, but like, do you value, like, if someone's just like, hey, maybe you should try this, and then you respect them enough to be like, yeah, I'll try it out.
Most definitely. I will try things. And I'm not closed-minded at all.
Right.
Because music is changing, the industry changes. I'm forever studying. So any advice that I get, I always make sure I study that advice and try to apply it the best way I can. But I make sure it doesn't get in the way of creating from the place that I always create from. So I always try to find that balance, right? Okay, but then I know sometimes when people are like out of order and like, nah, no, I'm not. You gotta have done some stuff, in order for me to take that advice head on, and just really apply it. But if I don't respect you as a musician, or if you're not working as hard as I am, you better have a Grammy or something.
Like your cousin, just like, you know what? More baritones.
Right. But my family, like my sister, for some reason she has like an ear, and she knows what's hot and cool all the time. My sister just has that cool factor. She's the one that got me into fashion and dressing and all this stuff. So my sister, she's like, yeah, do this right here. The ladies will love that. I had a few singers, Natalie Pope. She's a crazy soprano in Wilson, North Carolina. And she sung with me a lot. She was like, Sam, when you sing, don't come out so hard, so fast. Make it like a strip tease. Tease us. It's like, oh, okay, like that. And so really the ladies in my life were the ones that really told me the tricks and was like, this is what we want. This is what we need. And I immediately, when I came to LA, I applied that shit. And it works every time, man.
There's proof that it's like, all right, it worked.
Yeah,
back to you.
It works, man. So I think listening to the ladies in my life, that was my biggest influence on really what to do and how to entertain.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about the men in your life? Do they provide any value? Or?
Oh man, they like the coaches. They taught me how to be a man. You know what I'm saying? They taught me toughness. They taught me, don't be broke trying to do,
Right.
those manly lessons. Make sure you have some money in your pocket. Make sure you got a house. Make sure you got a car before you try to, invite somebody else into your life. Make sure you got your stuff together. Make sure you know about cars. Make sure you know how to mow the grass. All that stuff. The father figures in my life, I have so many. Not just my biological father passed when I was 3. And then so I had an amazing stepdad. I don't even call him stepdad. He's like my father now too. Barney Rogers, and he was also a pastor. Then I have Pastor Dr. Summerfield. He was like the last church I led praise and worship for a significant amount of time. He was like a real OG. He was like, yo, Sam, like, come here, man. I don't think you're giving it y'all. Like, what's going on with you? You good? Like, what I'm saying? He would push me beyond and he would push me like a coach. He had that deep voice, you know. He had that presence, you know what I'm saying? He was like, when I think I had a Ford Fusion. He was like, that Ford Fusion cool, but you know, you need to be rolling in the range or something. You need to be, you know, you think bigger. You need to be flying here and there, you know, saying you ain't getting no record deals. What's going on with that? Like he challenged me as a man, but he challenged me where, well, man, like I am too comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, you in an apartment now, you need to buy a house. Where your house at? You know, like let's do this, and this. He made sure I got my real life shit together. And God rest his soul, he passed away in 2017, and that's when I started working on moving to LA, because I was like, man, after him, you know, he was like, he was the one that taught me how to dream bigger and crazy and bold and not care.
Yeah.
He was like, no, people ask me why I bought a helicopter. I was like, because I want a helicopter. Like, why can't I have a helicopter? I'm writing books. I'm doing this. I'm on tour. I'm traveling. I'm never resting. I can get a helicopter if I want one.
Yeah.
I was like, you I'm sorry, I'm a cuss, but you damn right. I can get a helicopter too. I should work hard, and when I work hard, I should reward myself. I deserve the finer things in life. I shouldn't be so, you know, not now.
No, you're like taught to be humble, you know?
Yeah,
like,
you're taught to be
materialistic
You're
stuff.
taught to be humble and taught to be, you know, you're not shooting for things, but you're not dreaming enough. You're not dreaming big enough. Now I think the complete opposite. I mean, being humble is cool, but don't dumb down yourself. Don't let your light shine. Your light was made to shine. You were made to shine as a person. So a lot of the humble talk, I feel like subliminally is telling people to kind of dumb down who you are a little bit, you know, kind of hide in the shadows and stuff. It's a lot of like, every time I think of humbleness and the way people describe it, it's more so don't be too good, or this, you know, whatever that means. Humble, you know, be humble. That means shut up, you know, sit down. All right, hold on. And people don't make it like that. I didn't hear anybody telling Kobe to be humble. I didn't hear people telling LeBron to be humble. You couldn't tell Michael Jordan to be humble. You know, you couldn't tell Deion Sanders to be humble. You couldn't tell Muhammad Ali to be humble. You couldn't tell Mike Tyson to be humble. You couldn't tell Michael Jackson to be humble. Even though they were good people, James Brown, Prince. You know, Prince said when he was 17, I'm a star. He wrote that down, I'm a star. And so you have to have that belief in order to have the energy to manifest what you really want to do. Or else you're going to get beat down by the people that want you to be humble and don't want you to be great. You know, you got to really be a maniac. Yeah. You cannot tell Kanye West to be humble. You can't. Everything that he touches sells out. You know, like, we're not even talking about his music anymore, even though we are talking about his music, but, you know, his clothes, his Yeezys, you know, his collaborations sell out every time. Anything that he touches sells out. He is still relevant. He's been relevant for like almost 15 years, you know. So I look at those mindsets. Even being around Jamie Foxx knows he's that dude. Right now he's probably my number one influence when it comes to mindset. Because number one, he's gonna outwork you. We play ball together. We're competitive, but after when everybody else is going to sleep, I'm in the studio. I lay on this couch all the time, on the studio couch. It's probably like my bedroom now at Jamie's house. Same couch Ed Sheeran laid on. You know, a lot of people.
All the greats.
All the greats pass through that couch. And I would, 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, I would see his light on in his room and going over scripts, going over reads, going over characters, studying on his phone, like certain impressions. You know what I'm saying? He's mastering, I think he has like 60 voices.
Yeah.
That he's mastered. He did one of the a few days ago. He said he gave a demonstration while we were sitting at a table. I felt like he uses us as guinea pigs just to to see if it works, see if it connects to the people, because if it doesn't connect, he won't do it. And he told us like once you have Jay-Z, you got Sammy Davis Jr. down, and you got Kermit the Frog down, and he did Jay-Z, then Sammy Davis Jr., then Kermit the Frog, all in a similar voice, but changed it and tweaked it. I was like, this man is too great. This man is ridiculous. He's always working on stuff. And then the music side, it's like, I'm sitting here working with Fox, man. He has a Hollywood star, bro. Like, and it's just me and him. And we in the lab pushing each other. Work ethic alone, the way we push each other. No one can tell me. You can't be humble in the way that people try to, to move it, and have the confidence to work with a A-list like that. You have to know that you're good. You have to believe in yourself, and because they pick up on that. I'm like, oh man, he's too scared. Humble could come across scared. Usually you got to be bold. Mm-hmm. Usually you got to, just be bold. Yeah, that's it. And ever since I think 2020, we really connected and worked on so many things together, and just that pushing, that work ethic. If you got it, you got it. He taking him with you.
Surrounding yourself with people who want to be the best, right?
Yeah,
like it's so hard to learn that trait, especially if you didn't have too many trials or tribulations growing up.
Right.
Grew up in a normal household. Parents didn't really push you to do much. So like when you do break through a certain barrier that you were climbing forever, you kind of just sit back and relax, like like you said, you were comfortable. Where like when you're comfortable, that's when you should dig down deep and find that inner thing that's going to set your soul on fire to keep pushing you.
It pushes you to another level. And my mother, she works so hard. And so I think hard work was just something that was just ingrained in me. Either you got to shoot your free throws every day. You got to get some jump shots up. My mom used to stay up late working on 501c3s and nonprofits till 4 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. After a while, I started staying up with her and working on music right beside her. Like, we had a loft my stepdad bought her dream home. So in that, we had a loft in the bonus room. And I had my room in the bonus room along with my studio. And she worked on, she had an office in the loft. And if I saw her up, I would glance, oh, she's up. Okay, I'm going to keep working too.
Yep.
And when she went to bed, that's when I went to bed. So I think it started there. And then one last guy, Jamario Artist, he's the bass player for Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
I did his first, I did all his albums. I produced, mixed, mastered, whatever he needed me to do for the album, song on it. And his work ethic is nuts. I think Jamario and Jamie's work ethic and the way you have to get to the sound that they want fast, it's not just, you have to work fast. And I think Jamario pushed me to work fast so that I will be able to entertain and keep Jamie entertained so he won't leave. Because he was like, oh no, if you don't have it, he'll just go. He's like, he's not going to waste time. Yeah, he's not going to waste his time. He got other ideas he wants to get out and stuff, and he can immediately tell if somebody can't do it. He started staying in the studio with me. And all of a sudden, it was just me and him because I think that speed. But also natural chemistry.
It's like just when you think you're the hardest worker in the room, you surround yourself with people like this, and you're like, damn, I'm not working hard. I'm hardly working.
It's a reason why he's at where he's at. It's a reason. And those A-listers that we talk about and mention, people, I don't know why people don't talk about their work ethic. Because the only way you can be at that point is you have to have astronomical work ethic. There's no way you can be at that point and not work hard. There's no way you can be at that point and not be a master of your craft. There's no way possible. And so the amount of work is not a 9 to 5. It's not. It's literally 24/7. They're working on ideas. They're brainstorming, and they're continually manifesting things from nothing to something. These are all ideas that come from their head and their mind. even when I'm creating, it's coming from the mind first, and then we create something that's tangible, right, on earth that you can hear and see. When first you can hear it, then we have to do a visual so you can see it. But then I think also with that combination, it allows people to feel. So imagine coming up with something in your mind, and then you look at Spider-Man. That was in somebody's mind first, right? And that was the six. Shout out to Tom and Zendaya, Fox, everybody that was a part of that movie, historical movie, and you see it manifest, man. We got the power to manifest all the time. I'm manifesting every day, just about creating. I think that's like getting your chops up when it comes to understanding the manifestation. You have this idea. The only way the idea could come to life if you use your hands and do the work. And then if you do the work long enough, before you know it, you have a finished product, and it's here, it manifested. And I think that's throughout life. You're not going to manifest your dreams. I'm not going to manifest the Super Bowl unless I do the necessary work to do it. A lot of times, I don't think people fail probably because they don't know the steps to get there. If you don't know how to write or make a song or mix and master a song, if you don't know the steps necessary or have the resources to mix and master a song, you're not going to mix and master it even if you have the idea. But if you have all those tools to get to the Super Bowl or to have a career big enough that you are asked to do so, if you don't have the tools, you don't have the people to tell you, if you don't have the people in your life that's been there, it's like, hey, just do this, do this, do this. Okay, man, now you got to do this long enough. You have to sustain. Maybe you shouldn't do drugs. Maybe you should live a clean lifestyle so you can live long enough to be a legend, to be asked to do the Super Bowl. Maybe it's about life expectancy and working that whole entire time. So it's all of that stuff. Manifestation is probably my number one exciting thing about life, is that we have the opportunity to manifest amazing things every single day that we wake up.
Right. I mean, it's a part of you now. Like,
Yeah.
if you didn't get up and do something productive, you'd be pissed off. Right. I couldn't imagine where Jamie's head's at.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be productive at what you're doing 24/7. Like you said, it's not a 9-to-5. Like, you don't work. You love what you do.
Yeah.
You're obsessed with it.
I mean,
Some people might call you a workaholic, but that's okay.
That's
I take
fine.
that as a good connotation as
Right.
opposed to a bad connotation.
You can't stop a creator from creating. That's just what we do. And when we're in a position to be able to do it with financial freedom, with financial stability, what better way to make money by creating? And I mean, once again, I'm gonna reference Jamie. Every day, all day, he's pitching, ideas. He's brainstorming about new ones. He's writing new songs. He's thinking about things, and he has this plan. He has this preparation, and don't think he is great at improv, but don't think for a second he's not thinking about each and everything that he's gonna do and say, and is not calculated. He's a very calculated person, and so I also take that too. I'm a manifest, but it's gonna be well calculated and used and put into the right situation, so it can manifest more. Excuse me. So it can manifest more.
Sings a lot, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. It's still a little early for me. I usually don't go to sleep till about 6 or 7.
Really?
Yeah.
No way, really?
Yeah, I'm a night owl.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it felt good to go to bed before 1 o'clock last night. I was like, oh, this is nice.
My 10:30 good? Jack's like, yeah, okay.
Hey,
Let's do it.
We'll make it work, man. I was like, let me go ahead and get here.
Oh my God. Well, I'm curious to learn, like, when you moved into LA in 2019, to talk about like the financial stability of things.
Right,
Like, you were surrounded by people who always, taught you how to, support yourself, take care of yourself in every facet of life.
Yeah.
When you came to LA in 2019, were you set, or was it rough starting out?
I was pretty sad because I was flying back and forth, performing and getting in the scene. I was making sure I was getting involved. And LA is for entertainers.
Yeah.
If you're an entertainer, you're gonna be fine in LA. You're gonna find work. and then I had the entertaining aspect live, right? And then you have the studio. So those hand in hand, I don't think too many people are coming and singing live like that, but then also producing a record for somebody.
Right.
Legends did it, right? But not a lot of new people are going to out-sing and move the crowd and then go into the studio. And I think that was my X factor, was those two components. I wasn't just a singer. I wasn't just a producer. There's a lot of just producers in LA, and there's a lot of just singers. It's not a lot of people doing it both. You know, it kind of, and then mixing and mastering and all that stuff. So I would go into a session. I would engineer and vocal produce. You know, that's what I do for Snoop's daughter, Chalk. Shout out to Chalk. What's up, girl? Let's go. You know, she's killing it.
I know that's Snoop's daughter.
Yeah, yes.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yep, Chalk is Snoop's daughter, and we've been working on music for a while now. She has some, we released, under my label Harmonix Factory, we released 3 records. So it's amazing to work with her. It's amazing to work with the family, her mom. You know, I love her mom. Shout out to Boss Lady, what's up? Shout out to Snoop, the whole thing. And Snoop and Jamie are close and tight too. And so it's just great to be in the atmosphere. But yeah, like I would step into a studio and vocal produce, and then later on, like with Chalk, I would begin to produce her. And then after a while, I started mixing and mastering everything, and then it turned into one of the first songs I vocal produced her on and engineered is on the latest Snoop album called Algorithm on Def Jam.
Oh wow!
And so it was like, it's so many things happening outside of the Jamie stuff, but the Jamie stuff was the foundation and the cosign for people to trust me to do other things. And so I would go into a session. Now sometimes I'll play keys and do drum programming, or I would go into a studio session. They need me for melody, or and then they'll need me for lyrics, or they'll need me to demo the record. So anything, or I would just engineer. I would mix and master for people while doing the show that night. You know, so in LA, if you can do those type of things and be a chameleon and be able to get into any room and not step on toes, but kind of collaborate. Okay, I see the producer, he plays keys very well, but he may not be comfortable at doing drum programming. Maybe I throw him some drums, and then he plays keys over it and arrange it, and then, you know, I could do some melody, and there's our collaboration, bring in a lyricist, you know, put some words to it, and there you have a song, and we can send it out or place it, you know. So it's all about getting in where you fit in, understanding the room that you walk into, and understanding how to not dim your light, but also not step on toes unnecessarily.
Did you ever do that starting out? Or was that ever a fear for you? Trying to, again, like you knew you had the talent, the right people liked you,
right.
But were there ever times where you kind of felt like, oh, I kind of pushed him back here, like I'm coming in a little bit too strong?
Early on, you have to understand like the LA lingo. And this was before I moved to LA. I would fly back and forth, and I would try to understand the energy, understand the studio culture, right, and the unwritten laws of the land. And I would, I would respond, and at first I was just there to prove what I could do. But after a while, I understood that, okay, get in where you fit in, don't step on toes, be more collaborative with my energy, instead of being on display about what I can do. So I started coming into sessions being collaborative, being more of a support system in the industry. It's almost like a service, right? And once I started doing that, I started getting more callbacks to be in the studio. Shout out to Fiction. He's my longtime friend now, but he was the one that really invited me into the LA studio scene. Fiction is one of the best writers, vocal producers, and now he's engineering and stuff too. And he's an amazing artist as well. And he's one of my best friends, but he's one of the most talented friends I have too. And
right.
He showed me love in LA. And I think that's through Fiction. That's how I really got my foot in the door in LA, in the studio scene. And so shout out to you, homie. When you see this, let's go watch a movie. let's hang out soon because I know we both working.
Dude, I mean, you're surrounding yourself with arguably the most talented people, not just in LA, but maybe in our country. Jamie Foxx, with everything that he's got going on.
Most definitely.
I consider him the most talented guy in the entertainment industry.
Most definitely.
Do you see living in LA? You obviously had the foundation. You put in the work.
Right.
You connected with the right people. The right people liked you.
Right.
You're able to collaborate and connect on a level that most people aren't able to connect with these people.
Right.
Being in LA, though, do you see a lot of people walking into LA like this is where you make it? You go to Los Angeles, you go to New York, and they just don't even have the foundation. They just expect things to happen.
Yeah.
Just by being there.
You know, you can't just come here and not have a foundation. You know, it's not like how it was back in the day where, you know, you could waiting tables and you get discovered. It's not like that anymore because there's so many models, so many talented actors, actresses. It's a lot of people that went to school for what they do. It's kind of like the NBA, man. You see people that are not playing in the NBA no more that, you know, like I think it's, what's it, Stevenson? He plays for the Pacers now.
Oh, yeah.
Lance.
The guy who blew on what's his face?
Yes, Lance.
That's the only way I know.
He wasn't in the league, but he's capable and more than capable of playing and being on a roster in the NBA. That's how LA is. In LA you have the G League. In LA you have college, right? In LA you have high school, and if you want to make it to the NBA of LA, you have to get through those things. You have to have all the tools and the foundations and the training, but also the connections. And the people got to love you. I think if people love you first and people like you first, I think that's how you skip steps. But usually the people that make it through the love first, that skip steps and miss the training, they don't have sustaining careers.
Yeah.
So no matter if you know everybody, get that training, study, be a student of whatever craft you want to be a part of and be fully engulfed in, but also figure out how to manage your time. Because if you come here to LA and you don't have no money,
good luck.
Good luck, man. You're going to have to work, and LA's expensive. You're going to be working 9 hours a day. You're not going to have time for your craft, or you're just going to tire you'll burn out that way.
Yeah.
So I say if you come into LA, save some money. Have some money in your pocket. Then move. A lot of people say, I'll move with $100 in my pocket. I'm not talking about 4 years ago or 6 years ago. You could do that then. But now, like for the current time, get big on TikTok. Start posting.
Yep. Start
doing more reels on Instagram. Have something to offer when you come here. So it's like, oh, he's done some type of work. You were consistent in something. So, okay, now people love to build off things that already have a foundation. Build your foundation first. With social media, you don't have to move to LA first to make it.
Right.
It's like, oh, but if you want to make it in LA, make sure you have those foundations and then move. That way you'll be in a G League, right?
Right.
And then now you move to LA, or you move to New York, or you move to Nashville or Atlanta, even now Miami, to elevate and get into the NBA of the entertainment industry. And getting to the NBA of the entertainment industry is probably the toughest step, because you have to beat a lot of these people that are A-listers have people around them that have been around them for 15, 20 years.
Exactly. So
if you can't add anything new that's already there, you're going to have to figure it out. So it's all about persistence, being ready, being honest with yourself, right? Like don't be foolish. Like really size yourself up and say, okay, am I really that good? And if you're not really that good, I think the first thing and the best thing to do is being able to say, okay, I'm not really that good.
I mean, if you have to ask yourself that question,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and so then if you're not really that good at what you do, study, get that good, and then re-present yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about, I think, self-evaluation and being real with yourself.
I mean, it's very like it's kind of a double-edged sword when you talk about social media.
Yeah.
It's like you could have a great platform, but especially as a musician, if you've never performed live in front of anybody, like you said, like being in the NBA of the entertainment industry, that's when
Right.
you know you're good.
Right.
And you've been surrounding yourself with the right people for years upon years. Like Tom Holland's 25 years old,
Right.
6 Spider-Man movies later. Like
Yeah.
you look at that and be like, man, he's 25 years old. He's already killing it. Like
That's the
when he
NBA.
was like 5 years old, he was already like being prompt for
Right.
this, you know? Like, It
Exactly.
didn't happen overnight.
Exactly.
You moving to LA, you know, being as successful as you are now
Right.
did not happen overnight.
No,
You've
not
been
at
doing this
all.
since you were 3 years old.
Yeah, right.
And
right.
nobody knows.
Yeah, it's a life thing, and you know, even when people get big on TikTok and they master the art of singing into the camera, not making ugly faces and looking pretty in front of the camera and sounding good. You know, that's an art in itself. You know, singing like this. I had to learn how to do that. You know, just sing in front of the camera in a certain way where it sounds good, and you look good at the same time. It's like I make faces when I sing, so I had to master that. But I've seen people with, you know, 1 million followers on TikTok that I never heard before. But then when they did a live show, they didn't know how to connect with the people, because at that point, a live show is about the people. That would never change. The industry changes all the time, but the way to connect when you're singing live will never change at all. Just like Broadway will never change. You know, times change, but it's certain art forms, it's certain foundation of art that will, just like in the NBA, you still got to have a jump shot. You got to have the fundamentals. You got to be able to box out and rebound. Performing is like that. You have to connect. You have to have certain skill. You got to understand staging, all of that stuff to connect. And so I think that's what's happening, is that these people are getting big on social medias, but they don't have the skill or the chops to when they do the Super Bowl, right? They will still, you have 30 million on TikTok, but they're calling Ariana Grande for still 10 years later, or Mariah Carey to still do the Super Bowl, and you got 10 million on TikTok. You know, so what are you not doing? That's still G League. Because a lot of people in North Carolina are not on TikTok, did I know. They still on Facebook and just got on Instagram.
Yep.
So it's a whole those are kids, right, that are on TikTok right now. And TikTok is cool. Like, I just started mine, and I'm getting growth and everything. But, you know, I would say to everyone that is blowing up on TikTok, make sure in person that you are presenting that same energy that you are giving out when on the social media. Because I don't plan on being a TikTok star for 10 years. I don't plan on being and that's why I would say to them, like, don't plan on being just a TikTok star or a social media influencer when you're 59. What are you really gonna do? You know, is that gonna spark and you're gonna move on from that? You know, like a lot of gamers, are you gonna be gaming until you're 97? Like, are you gonna start producing other things? You know, you got to start thinking about that stuff.
I mean, at that point, you're plateauing, right?
Right. And I think labels need to look at that. Like, come on, labels, we need some substance. We need some consistency. We need to build actual art. Don't piggyback off someone's TikTok following and become lazy when it becomes promoting and pushing an artist. It's like, oh, they got a TikTok following, they stop there. Oh, they got a TikTok following. I think they feel like they don't have to promote because now they can start doing shows. I was like, but what if they're not ready to do a show? Is the show going to be dope? Don't just do the show because you can make money from it. That's not going to last. Do a show because it's a dope show. It's an actual show. They have the band. They have the proper rehearsals. Oh yeah, we can look at the algorithm and tell where we can do a show at. I was like, but that may not be where you need to do the first show. you probably need to do the first show in the atmosphere that is set up so they really understands how the NBA feels. Let them experience a real stage, not something that, it's good to do shows in your hometown and all that stuff. But not when I got to LA, I really understood what a stage was.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
LA showed me what a stage. I did shows all in North Carolina, but the real shows are in LA. You know what I'm saying? Or the real shows are in Atlanta, New York. Like I did the Apollo when I was 16, and I really felt the stage. I was like, ooh, the bright lights in your
Apollo
eyes.
at 16 years old.
At 16. Yeah.
Do you know anybody that's performed there at that age or even younger? That's got to be close to record.
Yeah. I think Jasmine Sullivan, she did it when she was 11. Lauryn Hill did it when she was about the same age. There's been a few. They're stars. I just said Jasmine Sullivan, Lauryn Hill. So
what did they ever do, right?
Right. And so it's like, yeah, man, it takes a lot. You see the resume and stuff I forgot about that, just coming back to my mind as I'm talking, that, I had to do in order to prepare for those stages. So back to like the social media and making sure that you really have a sustaining career, but also you don't become a gimmick. I always seen like cover artists, they covering songs and they get big off of cover songs, but they never have that hit record themselves, right? They never have. I've never seen a cover artist beat out a Katy Perry on a record, beat out a Beyonce. The Weeknd is not gonna out-sing these social media singers. The Weeknd is not gonna. He's not gonna give you that.
Yep.
Weeknd's. That's all he's gonna do. He's gonna be in the pocket, but the social media influencer is gonna give you.
Right.
You're gonna do all of that. What's on Billboard though? What the Weeknd did, and so now the influencer is just he did. I love his rendition of the Weeknd song. When would that flip, right? And that's what I'm aware. That's what I'm hugely aware of when it comes down to label telling me, hey, we need to get your TikTok following up. I'm like, okay, but how? Because the algorithm is based upon me doing things that are not geared toward artistry. The algorithm is based upon me being a follower, to be honest. What I have to do the trends. And unless I'm Tom Holland or unless I'm Jamie Foxx and I'm a household name already, I can't set trends myself yet. So it's like, how do we go about this without dumbing down what I do? Because I'm not going to become a TikToker.
No.
But I do love TikTok. It's cool. But at one point, the label shouldn't use that as a bailout for an artist or to build them. It should be about the art. It should be about patience. It should be about actually building instead of, they have a social media following, let's go with them. Oh man, they big on Instagram, man, so let's roll with them. No, it's some people on Instagram that have 2,000 followers. That's probably the greatest artist that we'll ever see, that's just sitting out there. I think we got to make sure we don't forget about that, because at the end of the day, the industry is suffering from artists with longevity. Oh man, that's the old school way of thinking about it. Well, apparently the old school way worked because
That's the foundation.
That's
right
the
there.
foundation, right? And Justin Timberlake finna come out with an album. Justin Bieber did it the old-fashioned way. Even though he was discovered on YouTube, they took that and developed that, right? Shawn Mendes was discovered on YouTube, but they took that and developed that. He didn't get signed because he had a crazy following on YouTube. Justin Bieber didn't get signed because they had a crazy following on YouTube. He uploaded a YouTube video, and people was like, oh my God, he can sing. Oh, this guy's good. This guy's good. Then he got sent off, and then it went crazy. It was more hype about the fight. It was he going to choose Justin Timberlake or Usher, right? He chose Usher, and that was one of the best decisions because Usher understood. I felt Usher was the best for Bieber's direction. You got Justin Timberlake, and then you got Justin Bieber. You know, it was too similar. You know, that would have been always Justin Timberlake's little brother. Usher kind of took a back seat and chilled for a while, and because Usher's Usher.
Yeah.
And Justin Bieber was able to get his own name, but it all stemmed from not them already having a following and doing the work of, oh yeah, they have a following already. The algorithm this, the algorithm that. No, they saw the talent. They saw that he had magic, right? Because it was, guess what? It was 30 or 40 other people that was doing the same type of YouTube videos, but they didn't have what Justin Bieber had, right? Justin Bieber had it, and they took the time to develop and build it. And now, guess what? Justin Bieber is Justin Bieber. So I think we have to go back to that formula. Labels do not use TikTok as a scapegoat to do the work. Do the work still, so then it's a guarantee that the artist will be successful. And I think that's my biggest thing right now is that, man, social media, you got to do it, right? You got to master it, but labels have to get out of the social media algorithm. They
do your homework, find the talent, then use your talent to help that talent.
Exactly.
You guys are helping out each other, right?
Yeah, like radio promotion, this, that, use it. They don't even want to give advances out anymore, out of fear. But I was like, if you work the record, it's very easy to have a record if you have the right writers and producers around. Get the right record and push it. What? Use those big label resources. There's only 3 labels now. You have a monopoly over all the resources. Let's use them and push it. And then keep going. Consistent. Push it until it works. That's what they used to do. Now, if you have one single and it flops, like, why would a single flop, y'all? Why would a single flop? Y'all spend all that time on the music. Something is not right. Either you signed an artist that doesn't communicate when he performs live, or I honestly think that's usually the case.
I mean, you don't even know where TikTok's going to be in 5 years. Like, looking at it from that perspective.
Right.
Like, TikTok, I thought was going to be banned 2 years ago. I thought, like, China bought it out or something.
That's why
something happened.
I had started on TikTok, then I stopped after that because it was like, if something that I'm creating has the potential, or it can be deleted just like this. If your career can be deleted by a push of a button, right now, a TikTok artist is just as disposable as an NFT.
Yeah.
It is digital art, and only that. Digital art manifesting and turning into cash or something, or something funny. But at a given point, if your artistry can be deleted digitally, and that's all you have, that is a problem. There's no safety in saying, oh, I'm just big on TikTok and that's all you got. What else do you have? Because if TikTok was to go away right now, what would you do? Who would you be? Or would you still be, I'm me? Or would you be that person that you are on TikTok if TikTok was completely gone?
Some people are going to battle with imposter syndrome after that.
Oh, yeah.
Some people get so into it. Like, if you took it away, they're like, oh, who am I?
Yeah.
I have no idea who I am.
Yeah, because you've given yourself over to the algorithm.
Yeah.
And you can't, human minds built computers, man. But you can't turn us into only depending on the computer. We invented that. You know, we are the inventor. So the algorithm can be great for analytics and just data, but it's life in general is so much more and bigger than data, right? You can't have a robot make a cake.
Nope.
And it's not gonna make. You can't have a robot make the cake that grandma used to make, right? You can't use auto-tune to sing the hymn the way Aretha Franklin would sing Amazing Grace. You can't put auto-tune on that. It's gonna take away the feel, right? You can't digitize Aretha Franklin's voice right now. You can't put auto-tune on a man's world. What are you doing? You can't do that. It's messing up you can't put auto-tune on none of Michael Jackson's records. Thriller, the greatest album of all time. You can't digitize that. You got to use the real stuff. And that's what, it has to go back to that. That's the only way, because, I mean, you can't have so much McDonald's. After a while, it's going to have to be some real soul food. You're going to have to really eat something healthy. People are going to have to hear something healthy, but the industry needs healthy artists. Needs fully healthy, nourished artists. We need a new breed of that, so that then the industry can carry on and carry the legacy. You know, because what if auto-tune crashes? What do you have if auto-tune is done? You know, you got to take it off your template. I did a Man's World recently, like we said earlier, and I said no auto-tune. The only way I can sing this is how I sing it live. I want the imperfections of my voice. I want those notes that are in between, because the voice has so many different nuances. You know, like when I sing like, it's a man's world, it has all of that world. Yep. Auto-tune will take those and tune it and mess it up. I can't.
You don't even need it.
Yeah.
Literally doesn't need it. Great find, Jack.
Thank you.
Great find.
Yeah. We kind of found
Who the
each
hell
other.
needs auto-tune?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's the digital thing. I'm always combating with that.
I feel like, and you know way more about it than I do, but like 50% of artists would be exposed if you took away auto-tune.
Most definitely. Whoa. Probably even more than that, man.
I was trying to be respectful to the music industry. I didn't know.
Probably more
But
than that.
A lot. I mean, Post Malone, love his music.
Yeah.
Very talented guy.
Yeah.
Insanely talented. He wouldn't be in the position he is if he didn't. But you could tell a lot of his stuff's auto-tune.
And I think that's more so due to the producer, Louis Bell, because they would just, you know, kind of just take his melodies and take pieces and just put it together like a puzzle. Post Malone benefits, though, because he's a rocker.
Yeah.
And Post Malone is a guy from the South, and he's a little bit older. So his heroes are a little bit his heroes are legends, right? And so he has that foundation. So he snuck it in. He still has that foundation where he can do a country song, a country record. He has real musicians around him. So even though his music has it, he can still perform live. And that's because of, you know, his age bracket. Even Justin Bieber, he started out real young. He had all the best vocal coaches. I mean, he had Kurt Franklin as vocal coach at one point in time, I believe. And, you know, he can sing without auto-tune.
Yep.
But then you have the ones that don't, and I'm not going to name those. And it's okay. You know, it's an art to sing with auto-tune. You know, instead of singing something like with a heavy vibrato, like, I wanna rock with you. Instead of using that vibrato at the end, you would just have to sing it a little bit straighter. I wanna rock with you. You know, and the auto-tune will just correct that note, and it'll be more pleasing because you can't have a lot of vibrato with auto-tune. So it's an art to that as well. But I would use it now because everybody else is used to hearing auto-tune on voices. But I would use it very subliminally. But that was probably a year ago. Now I'm saying I don't care about it anymore. a lot of my records that are about to come out don't have auto-tune on it.
So let's kind of talk about that. I know you got a plane to catch, so
Yeah.
I got 2 more questions for you.
Yes, sir.
I guess the first one, since again you talked about Jamie Foxx a lot, kind of being a big influence for you. Prince,
Yeah.
probably a big influence for
Huge.
most musicians.
Yes.
Did Jamie have any great Prince stories? Because I'm sure that they hung around the same
my
circle for many years.
God. Yes, he had. He has a few Prince stories, and I forgot him. Nah, he honestly, Jamie Foxx is the king of storytelling. I don't think people realize that the way he tells stories, and I think it was a Prince incident between him and Prince, a Jamie Foxx Prince incident at Sayers Club, the venue that it was my first performance home in L.A. And I really forgot what happened because I'm just so entertained about how Jamie told that story. But they were in the same room plenty of times. For sure they were.
Yeah.
Especially like at award shows. And I remember seeing clips of when Prince and Michael Jackson was alive and Jamie being in the same room as that. Yeah, Prince, Stevie, Madonna, Michael Jackson, James Brown, Jamie Foxx. Around the time Denzel Washington, around the time he won Ray, he did Ray, and won all those awards for his depiction of Ray. And he's been in every room with anybody and everybody, and everyone loves him. He has a Hollywood star, so of course, it's great. To me, it's crazy thinking about it.
So the last thing I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned it at least 10 times, I'd say, wanting to perform at the Super Bowl, and that being the expectation for everybody. Given that you talked about manifesting all your goals, I'm sure you write them down every day. I'm sure there's a catalog, there's a timeline.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific Super Bowl in mind that is kind of like in the near future? Or is it obviously just going to be based on talent alone when they choose your name, when you get that call?
It's going to be based on the records. I have to, from here on out, I took a break from releasing stuff after I started working with Fox. Took a break of releasing stuff because I felt myself growing exponentially in the realm of just my direction. And I think Super Bowl is all about the hit records. You can, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, Katy Perry, Beyonce, Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson, Prince, Michael Jackson, the list goes, Madonna, the list goes on and on. All those people have extreme success on Billboard. And so it's all about, for me now, the focus is the records. And I do have some really, really strong records coming out. So
I was going to ask, would you feel confident with the stuff that you have either coming out or stuff you've already released and say, this is going to be a huge hit that I could perform in front of?
I have a few that I've released, but the songs that I'm about to release are, I'm not pulling any punches, man. And I've been doing some snippets on my Instagram of some ideas that out of probably like 200 songs. And so right now I'm guinea pigging certain records just to see if they connect. And this one record called Guy Friend, it got 1 million views on Instagram. Original. That's how I want to go viral.
Yeah. I
want to go viral from my original content, not a cover. And that one went semi-viral. 1 million is pretty good on Instagram. I ain't gonna. And so I released another one called Slay Me that did well. You can see the comments. Oh my God, I can relate to this. Oh my God, such and such. Oh my God, this touched me. Oh my God, I have chills. You want to see those type of comments on your original content. And so, yeah, that's kind of like my method right now until I think around Mother's Day is when I'm going to drop my first official single under a major label.
Really?
Yeah.
So how can people follow you? Sam Harmonix.
Sam Harmonix everywhere. SamHarmonix everywhere.
Well, if you're not following this guy yet, Sam Harmonix all over social media, he's going to be a star one day. Just talking to you the past, I don't even know how long we've been going, man.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite in-studio guest yet.
Wow,
I love your
man.
story, love where you come from. You know, you value family, you value your relationships.
Yeah.
You got everything figured out,
Man,
it seems
appreciate
like.
it, man.
You got your shit together, man.
Appreciate
I'm
it, man.
excited to see what you guys do.
Let's go,
It's going to be a blast. I definitely have a reason to come out to LA now just to
Yes,
see you
please.
perform.
Come through. Come through.
I would love to see it, Jack. Thanks so much for hooking this up. Thanks for actually hopping on the mic, too.
I know. Thanks
He
for
wasn't
having
going
me.
to, but you
Yeah.
got the agent look going. You got the sunglasses and the
Right.
dress shirt.
Got to give my 2 cents about football and vaguely answer one question, so it was fun.
What shoes you wearing?
Wolf and Shepherd.
Wolf and
Birthday
Shepherd?
gift from my mom. She did well.
Wolf and Shepherd. What do
Yeah,
you
this is-
got? Because I got the Jordan 4s.
Oh, these are, some Dior sneakers.
Yeah, probably nicer. Probably cost more than both of ours, if I'm being honest. But yeah, guys, check this episode out. Sam Harmonix. This is episode 482 of the podcast. Remember, we're sponsored by Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Scottsdale. If you want to spar anytime, we're more than welcome. Hey, Cooke, hit the lights, man.